Hey. Time for another out-of-this-world story from our space. How long should you wait for an apology that's never going to come? Today in our space, OP gives his therapist a run for their money. She cheated 2 weeks ago, shows remorse, but does not seem willing to continue a relationship. First time I've ever posted in something like this. Edit. I'm 36, she's 32. Married 4.5 years, together over 7 years, no kids. Wife and I have been distant for a while. Sex initiated only by me, once a month. We had a happy marriage, never fought. But apparently there are a lot of issues I was unaware of. I thought we were just in a sexual rut, but it was far deeper than I thought. After my therapist and a friend suggested she may be cheating, I decided to check her cell while she was in the shower and found texts from another man. She immediately admitted to it and confessed everything. This was last Tuesday. Affair happened Saturday before that. She had been talking to him romantically since November of last year, but known him for longer from work. He lives out of state and comes in town every few months. I feel stupid for wanting to see if we can work past it. She shows remorse, but no, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Can you forgive me and we can work this out? To be honest, that's what I want to hear. This is the love of my life. Been together over 7 years, married for 4.5 years. She was my person. This is so out of character, it's unbelievable. She was cheated on in previous relationships and always told me, if you ever cheat, that's it. I'm gone. No explaining, no justifying, to talking. You'll wake up and I'll be gone and you'll never see me again. I made sure to never give her any inkling of me ever seeking anything outside of her. I give up every female friend I had, let her know anytime an ex reached out or said anything to me, etc. I never wanted her to even think I'd do it, out of respect for her. The 3 best friends and her individual therapist she's been seeing for years were completely shocked when she told them. A month ago, I would never have entertained the idea that she could do it. It was so absolutely something she couldn't do. I would imagine her becoming a bank robber before I imagine her cheating. I've told a couple close friends and my sister, that's it. She's told her 3 closest friends and therapists, and as far as I know, that's it. We went to our first marriage counseling session January 22nd. She slept with him for the first time January 27th. Not even an effing week after our first marriage counseling session. She saw her personal therapist yesterday, second time since the affair, and went to a solo counseling session with her marriage counselor last night. I go solo tonight. Came home and was very, very distant. I asked her last night, "Do you still know if you want to be with me?" "I don't know." I asked, "I would rather hear an I don't know than a no, but it's not a no, Curly, is it?" "I don't want to have this conversation right now." I left it at that, said okay. I walked away and cried and drank for hours until I passed out. I'm going to solo counseling to the same marriage counselor tonight. We have a group session booked on the 11th. It's looking more and more like our relationship won't survive this, that she just has zero drive to work on it. I'm devastated. I never even thought this would happen. I know we had grown a little distant, but not this. I'm so nervous for this session tonight. I feel like I'm going to be telling the therapist I want to work it out. I can eventually forgive her, and she's just going to nod and smile, only for this group session to be her telling me that she wants out. I want this relationship to survive. I'm so scared. I'm sick. Edit. She says she has no desire to continue seeing this guy, talk to him, anything. I asked if she was using him, and she said yes, she wanted to have control over something. She says she has not talked to him at all since, and will not talk to him ever again. She's not seeking a relationship with him, but she's also not actively seeking repairing our relationship. She says she doesn't think I could ever forgive her, and that she doesn't think she could ever forgive herself. Edit. I sent a text from her phone the night I found it to him that read, "This is her husband." I've read the texts. He sent some responses the next day, but she says she has not replied to him once and has no plans to ever do so. Edit. I went to the marriage counselor tonight. My session was solo. Her session was yesterday with the counselor and was also solo. I told the marriage counselor I feel like she's done. She's not showing me any signs of wanting to work through it. I told her that I know she can't tell me what they talked about directly, but that I know she's done with the relationship. She asked what I wanted. I told her I wanted an apology and her to say she wants to see if we could work through this, but I do not foresee this happening. Lots of other things said, but she did tell me to take some time to step back and really think if I was happy the past 2 years, and asked what I thought a divorce would look like. I feel like she was priming me for the separation. Feels bad, man. Super edit. Most of this will go into a new post, just starting this year. She's been staying at her parents since last Wednesday. We did a joint counseling session on Sunday together. The counselor asked what we were doing, reconciling or separating. I motioned to my wife. She said separating. And the counselor asked trial separation or separating to divorce. She said to divorce. I knew it's what she was going to say, so I wasn't surprised. We had a long talk about why with the counselor. She's going through terrible guilt over what she did, but still doesn't want to work anything out with us. She's not talking to the other guy anymore either. She just wants out. When we talked more, it was a lot of built-up little resentments that she never, and I'm not exaggerating when I say never, never brought up. Things like, well, I did all the cleaning. I offered to get a maid service at least 3 times, and she told me no, not to do it. She can do it. She said she has to be the mental lead on things when planning. Yes, because she is the one who plans the trips and events. I'm not planning the dream vacation she's always wanted to do in Europe with that we did 4 months ago. Every trip aside from one we've done is to places she wants to go, and the one trip we did that she didn't plan, my sister set it up. The counselor then said, but what about the wedding? She didn't want to have the wedding. She just wanted to elope, and you made her have a wedding, and she did most of the planning, and you weren't very present in planning. Okay, you got me there. I wanted the wedding, and so did her parents and my parents. She said she never felt like she could talk to me about these things. I asked why. She said she didn't know. I asked if I ever did anything to make her think that. Did I ever yell at her, cuss her, call her names, bang my fist on the table at her, anything to show her that she couldn't talk to me? She said no. Then she said she's seen me get mad and frustrated and yell and cuss. I asked if any of this was ever directed towards her. She said no. And I said exactly. Because I can separate a situation I'm angry at or frustrated with from one to my wife. And the counselor said, well, how was she supposed to know that? I told her because it never happened. When I confronted her about the affair, even then, I didn't scream at her, cuss at her, punch the drywall or anything. Yes, I spoke loudly and lots of, how could you, and crap, but overall, probably one of the more calm affair confrontations you could imagine. Then I looked at the counselor and said, that's her proof that she could talk to me. So I said I feel like she never had even tried. Every serious conversation we had, I had to bring it up and initiate the conversation. She never did this. I told her I would rather have had 10,000 difficult conversations than the one we're having now. But instead, she held everything inside, and when she finally let it out and told me she was having some feelings, we scheduled counseling 3 days later, and she was effing someone else less than a week after that. I tell her that if she doesn't want to be together due to the guilt she has for what she did, and that she doesn't think I'll ever be able to forgive her, that's one thing, and that's something we could work on. Then I said, if she wants to separate because you no longer love me, you don't see a future with me, and you genuinely want a divorce, that's another thing. She said she doesn't want to be with me. I asked her, okay, if I were to wave the magic wand and have divorce papers ready for you to sign tomorrow, you'd sign them? I asked for this because I was actually going to pick up the divorce papers the next morning and get her to sign if the counseling session went the way I was expecting. She said, what? That's so soon. I don't know. So I asked, if she wants a divorce, what's the difference in signing tomorrow, 2 weeks, or 2 months? She just said she doesn't know. The session ends and we go back to our home to continue to talk and let her get more clothes to take to her parents. I ask her what she wants. She says she wants to be alone. I said, okay, alone and divorced, or alone for a while and do a trial separation and file for divorce later if we can't reconcile after we take some time apart. She says she doesn't know. So I tell her that strings me along. That it's effed up that she's the one who ruined everything by never talking to me, holding resentments she never told me about, and having an affair now, she's the one with all the power. She said she doesn't have any power and doesn't want the power. And I told her, I know she doesn't want it, but she has it. I just have to sit here and go along with whatever she wants. I tell her that I'll have the divorce papers tomorrow if she will sign them. She says I can't have them made that quick. I said, yes, I can because I started last week. She says she has to read it first. I told her, of course, but it will be what we talked about when I first caught her cheating and said I would divorce her. I keep mine, she keeps hers, both accounts and debts. I presented her with the papers. She read through them, then said she needs to get them looked at. It's exactly what we agreed to, so I asked why she needs them looked at. I tell her she just signs now, we're done. No more BS, and we don't have to go back and forth and she doesn't have to pay a lawyer. She admitted to having a lawyer she wants to look it over, but that the lawyer isn't on retainer. Still waiting on her lawyer to look it all over. Deep down, I know that us separating is for the best. The infidelity, the wavering on her wanting kids and not, her emotional immaturity, her lack of communication, the complete betrayal, and being treated like I'm not even a person anymore. But if she came back today and said she's sorry and wants to fix it, my dumb butt would probably say, okay. Well, if she wanted control, she certainly got it now, steering this relationship straight into the ditch and completely lighting it on fire. It's like she wanted to spice up her life, but instead of chili flakes, she went for a full-blown volcano. Why would you want to subject yourself to someone who isn't even sure she wants to be with you, OP? I mean, she's running straight into the bed of her lover after attempting to fix your marriage. It seems like she wanted out for a while now, but has been waiting for you to pull the plug. I mean, as she said, apparently she feels like she's done all the work in the relationship until now. I guess now she's leaving you to do all the dirty work. What do you make of this? What would you do if you were OP? Thank you for joining us today in our space. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.